before the game when we talked, and we had our meeting getting ready to go into Golden State. The thing, and watching the film from yesterday's game, we watched the film from Boston. The thing that we want to keep telling our guys, because we feel like we're close, we feel like we're right there. Told them three things, the three areas that we got to get consistent in. And the first one is continuing to think about the past, think about the past, think about the past, think about the past. And we thought tonight that at times, and there were probably more times than not, that we did pass the ball. I thought that we saw some great ball movement. I think what happens to us at the end of ball games, we forget about our pace and we slow down a little too much. And we got to keep thinking about pace. Even with 2 minutes to go on the game clock, because we have some talented guards and some great bigs that know how to play the pick and roll game very well and set screens for each other very well. And so we got to keep thinking pace all the time towards the end. But on top of that, the pass. I thought throughout most of the game too, our guys are competing. And as you look at the month of December, and there's probably four games, maybe three to four games, if not more. I'm not sure where I felt our guys competed. They competed throughout the course of the game. Game was down to the last 2 minutes, whether it's regulation or overtime. And I got to keep helping our guys. But our guys got to keep thinking pass and keep thinking pace. And if they think pass, they think pace, as well as compete, we're going to start winning some of these games. But I feel like we're close. I feel like obviously all these losses bother our guys, and they're bothering our guys the right way. But we have to stay at it, and we will. All these experiences are great for us to go through. We just hope that you can come out on the winning end in most of them. But I got to give our guys credit because they're competing. They are competing. I just got to keep trying to help them at the end of games too.
Coach, what do you say to them, as a lot of these close losses can take a toll, on the team? What do you say to them to keep it positive?
We're close. We're competing. We're competing enough to have a chance to win games. All right, we're passing the ball enough to have a chance to win games. We just have to keep doing that more. We got to, instead of competing for hypothetically 65 possessions, we got to push to compete for 75, 85 possessions. Same with passing the ball. Instead of just passing for different throughout different parts of the game, the pass has to just be ingrained in us all the time. Because when we do, we get some wide open looks from the floor. We have some guys that can move the ball and then know how to play. We just got to keep thinking pass, and that's what I told them. I said we got to keep thinking those things. And then I'm not sure if I said this or not, but the biggest thing for us defensively is just keep competing, because it's not going to happen where it's textbook, where we follow X and O's all the time, but we can cover for one another. We can communicate, and then we keep competing. That's what competing is. And if you do compete, it'll make up for the mistakes that you make defensively when it comes to the X and O game. So I'm just going to keep preaching that message. Pass the ball, compete, have fun. Pass the ball, compete, have fun. And keep trying to take it to another level. Keep trying to take it to another level, because right now we're in these games. And yeah, we should win some of these games, and it hurts to lose them. But the good thing about it is we're giving ourselves a chance.
You think it's easier for them to run the offense without having to worry about forcing the ball down to Bynum?
That's a good question. I don't, when he's here, we never really tried to force it to him. At times we would on the floor. We always wanted to get him the ball and flow, and we still want to flow now, whether he was on the floor or he's not on the floor. We want to be a flow team, and we feel like in our early, first of all, the first thing we want to do is fast break. Anytime, every time we can push the ball, we want to fast break the basketball, and that's either on the dribble or the throw ahead and look to attack. The second thing for us is our secondary offense, and that's drags, that's double drags, and then that's playing the game out of it. And then we have what we call early flow, where we should never come up the floor and come to a standstill and not know what to do. Because when we talk about playing with pace, even on early flow, we want to push the ball. And we have two looks. We got to pass ahead, basically. We got to swing, and either one of those things will get us into some sort of action. But what we're continuing to try to tell our guys to do is do it now. Do it now. Push the ball and then make a decision right away. Swing it or throw ahead and flow or run into your action so the defense doesn't have a chance to get set. Now they may be a half a step behind, and we may be able to get some good looks out of it. And within that flow, we're able to do a lot of different things. There's pin down action, there's deep dribble handoff action, there's flare action, there's post up action, there's ducking action. We just got to keep working at it to get better at it so that the defense does not get set, especially late in games. We don't want to go against a set defense all the time late in games.
Mike, I know you don't want to take away Kyrie's aggressiveness, but does he have to learn that when he drives in there, teams are going to start converging more and more guys until he does start kicking the ball out?
Yeah. Kyrie's obviously he's a young player that's on his way to being a great player. He's a very good basketball player now, and he's got a ton of ability. And not only does he have a ton of ability, but he has a ton of belief in himself. And so when he does drive, he makes great plays throughout the course of the game. And sometimes, especially late in games, referees may allow the game to be a little bit more physical than what the game was called during the flow. They may let a bump or a little bit more of a bump go than what they did at the 6-minute mark of the third quarter, hypothetically. So when Reed does get in there, he's got to make the decision, and he's the one that has to determine, can I finish it or do I need to kick it? And that's something that he's conscious of and that he's going to continue to get better at as time goes on.
During second half timeouts, it looked like you were really engaged with your guards and talking to them. What kind of advice were you giving them? Because it just looked like you said, you were telling them to push up and that the offense was coming to a standstill at points.
Yeah, as coach, we thought as the game went along, we thought we were getting a little tired. We thought that the fatigue maybe from yesterday's game, I don't know, was kicking in a little bit, but we did not have the same pop or pace that we had in the first half. And so I was trying to encourage our guards, hey, we got 3 ball handlers out there a lot of times, right? Just whoever gets the rebound, whoever gets the outlet, go ahead, push it. Let's look to attack before Golden State gets set. And like I said, if we can't, then let's flow right into something. But I thought too much, especially as the game went along, that we came to a standstill and we let Golden State set their defense, which was not good when we did that. And then we tried to attack, and at times we might have been able to make the pass, but we didn't. I thought Deion got a great look late on the 15-foot pull-up jumper. It was wide open, and that resulted from a couple of passes, but we could still do better and be better.
Mike, you guys were up 17 with a minute to go in the second quarter, and I think they scored 8 unanswered in the last 54 seconds. After playing so good for so long, is that kind of deflating when that lead is almost cut in half in such a short period of time at the end of a quarter?
Yeah, anytime you have a lead and it's cut like that, especially at the end of quarters, it's tough. It's tough to deal with. But it's part of basketball because there are teams out there that are good teams. I mean, that's a good basketball team out there. I thought Curry hit some tough shots on Jack. And that's all you could do is make a guy take tough shots. I think he had 24 and a half and ended the game with 29. And so so we just felt he wasn't going to be able to shoot that way the whole game. As long as we kept contesting and trying to make him work. He's a great player, but you just try to make a guy like that work, and if you do, then usually good things will happen for you. But it's a point of emphasis that we've had, that we've talked about with our team. One of the areas that we haven't been very good at is in the quarters and closing quarters. And on average, we just talked to our team about it. That's why I know the numbers. We talked to our team about it three days ago. Gave them stats and numbers and showed them on tape, to continue to teach them and talk to them about how we should do it or what we should do about it. And I think we're 28th in net efficiency right now at the end of quarters, and we're on average we're minus 7 points at the end of quarters with our opponent. If you add the plus minus over every quarter that we've been involved with. So we do have to do a better job of closing quarters. And for us, it has to continue to start with our defense. And then offensively, like I said, just because the game clock is going down, that doesn't mean we want to slow our pace. Because, Rick, we had a pretty good pace going, and then it's almost like you come to a standstill or a slowdown, and now you get to pick and roll, and they're able to load when you play pick and roll, and you get a tough shot, and you don't get a second shot. And so we still want to boom and say, push the pace, and look to flow into our actions.
Yeah. Thanks,
Hey,
everybody.
Mike, did you guys think you called a timeout after Curry missed the runner at the end of regulation?
No, because we ain't had no more timeouts.
You didn't have any?
I mean, I didn't realize it, but I had 120, and I didn't want to use it, but our guys, it didn't look like we knew what we were going to be doing, and so I took the 20 and just put the ball in Kyrie's hands and told him to ISO so that a second body wouldn't run at him and take him out. He hit a big shot for us. But if I could have, I wouldn't have used my 20 just in case something like that happened. We were able to take it to advance it.
Was that to simplify after yesterday's problems getting the ball? Because yesterday he was on the opposite side of the court of the inbounds, and he was nowhere involved in the play. Today he was right next to the inbounds.
Yesterday what happened, we wanted him coming off a stagger, so we wanted a couple plays before that. AB and Deion did a terrific job of playing 2-4 DHO or 2-4 pick and roll. And so we wanted to bring Ray off of staggers on the backside and to get him the ball just in a different look instead of just putting it in his hands right now. Because teams load on him, and Boston loaded on him. So we figured if we have him coming off of screens or moving off of screens, maybe he can catch and go. Or now that's when a pick and roll may happen or an ISO may happen. And they ended up switching that pick and roll on to Deion, and Deion felt he had a mismatch, and he drove to the hole. And Deion had some very good drives during the course of the game, so I'm going to live with that. Thank you, guys.